What if the dreams that haunt you in the quietest hours of the night are not just dreams, but memories? Fragments of lives you've lived before, whispering to you from the depths of time. Close your eyes for a moment. Think of the inexplicable fears that grip you without reason, the strangers whose faces feel eerily familiar, the places you've never been to, yet somehow you know. What if these are not coincidences, but clues? Footprints left behind by your soul as it journeyed through centuries, lifetimes, identities long since buried by history. For millennia, the greatest mystics, sages, and seers have spoken of reincarnation, not as a myth, but as a law of existence. The ancient Egyptians inscribed it in their sacred texts. The Hindus wove it into the fabric of karma. The Greek philosophers, from Pythagoras to Plato, taught that the soul is eternal, cycling through births and deaths, each life a chapter in an endless epic. Yet today, most dismiss past lives as fantasy. But what if the truth is far stranger? What if hidden beneath the surface of your conscious mind lies an entire library of forgotten selves, each one holding wisdom, trauma, lessons waiting to be uncovered? This is not mere speculation. Modern psychology has stumbled upon it in the unlikeliest of places. Patients under hypnosis recalling historical events they could never have known, children speaking of past deaths with chilling accuracy. Science may not yet have the tools to measure the soul's journey, but the evidence is there, written in the silent language of déjà vu, in the inexplicable pull towards certain eras, in the uncanny talents and irrational fears you've carried since childhood. But this knowledge is dangerous, because once you begin to remember, you can never unremember. To explore past lives is to stare into the mirror of eternity and ask, who was I, and why does it still haunt me? This is not just about curiosity, it's about liberation. The unresolved wounds of past incarnations shape your present, your relationships, your fears, even the very course of your destiny. To unearth them is to reclaim lost fragments of your soul, to heal what time could not erase. So I ask you now, are you ready to step into the labyrinth of your own immortality, to trace the footsteps of the souls you once were? The first step is the most perilous, because once you begin, there is no turning back. Long before science sought to map the human mind, the sages of antiquity spoke of a truth so profound it defied the boundaries of a single lifetime. In the hushed sanctuaries of Egyptian temples, priests taught that the soul, the ka, was immortal, cycling through countless incarnations to fulfill its divine purpose. The Book of the Dead whispers of judgment in the Hall of Ma'at, where the heart is weighed against the feather of truth. Those found worthy were granted rebirth, their past deeds shaping the circumstances of their return. The East, too, carried this wisdom in its sacred veins. The Vedas, written over 3,000 years ago, declared, "As a man casts off worn-out garments and puts on new ones, so the soul casts off worn-out bodies and enters into new ones." The Buddha, in his enlightenment, perceived the endless wheel of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, driven by karma, the unbroken chain of cause and effect. Even the Tibetan Bardo Thodol, the famed Book of the Dead, meticulously describes the soul's journey between lives, a roadmap for navigating the afterlife before returning to the earthly plane. But why has this knowledge been obscured, relegated to the realm of myth and mysticism? Perhaps because it challenges the very foundations of modern thought, the illusion of a linear, singular existence. The early Christian Church, seeking to consolidate its power, erased reincarnation from its doctrine in the 6th century, declaring it heresy. Yet traces remain. In the Gnostic Gospels, Jesus speaks of past lives. Before Abraham was, I am. The Kabbalists, keepers of Judaism's esoteric heart, taught of Gilgal, the transmigration of souls, a secret reserved only for the initiated. Even in the West's age of reason, the flame of this truth flickered in the shadows. The 18th century philosopher Emanuel Swedenborg wrote of encountering spirits who recounted their past incarnations. A century later, the Theosophists, Madame Blavatsky, Annie Besant, revived these teachings, claiming access to an ancient hidden wisdom guarded by Himalayan adepts. But the most compelling evidence comes not from ancient texts, but from those who remember. In the 1950s, psychiatrist Dr. Ian Stevenson dedicated his life to studying children who spontaneously recalled past lives, with verified details of names, locations, and deaths they could not possibly have known. His work, dismissed by skeptics, remains one of the most meticulously documented cases of reincarnation in modern history. Why does this matter? Because the past is not truly past. The wounds of forgotten battles, the loves that ended in tragedy, the unlearned lessons, they linger in the soul's memory, shaping your instincts, your fears, your inexplicable longings. To explore past lives is not mere curiosity, it is archaeology of the self, a descent into the labyrinth of your own eternity. And the key to unlocking these memories lies in a practice as ancient as the pyramids themselves, past life regression. But be warned, once the door is opened, there is no telling what may step through. The human mind is not a blank slate at birth. Like an ancient library buried beneath layers of time, your subconscious holds records of experiences that defy your current identity. These are not mere fantasies, they are imprints left upon the soul's journey across lifetimes. But how does such memory persist beyond death? The answer lies in understanding consciousness itself. Modern physics now echoes what mystics have long proclaimed, that information cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Your memories, emotions, and experiences are encoded not just in your brain, but in the very fabric of your energy field. Dr. Jim Tucker's research at the University of Virginia documents cases where birthmarks and physical deformities in children correspond precisely to fatal wounds from their claimed past lives. The body remembers what the mind has forgotten. There exists within you what Tibetan masters call the subtle body, an energetic blueprint that survives physical death. The French researcher Dr. Raymond Moody, pioneer of near-death studies, found that many who experienced clinical death returned with inexplicable knowledge of historical events or foreign languages. These are not supernatural phenomena, but evidence of the soul's continuum. Past life memories typically surface in 4 distinct ways. Dream visions, recurring dreams of specific time periods or locations, often with vivid sensory details that feel more like memories than imagination. Unexplained phobias, intense, irrational fears with no origin in your current life, fear of drowning in those who've never been in deep water, terror of specific animals, etc. Anachronistic skills, sudden, unpracticed abilities to speak fragments of dead languages, play unfamiliar instruments with proficiency, or operate archaic machinery. Recognition syndrome, the overwhelming sense of familiarity when meeting someone for the first time, or visceral reactions to certain historical eras. The renowned psychologist Carl Jung called this the collective unconscious, but perhaps it's more personal than that. Your soul carries wounds that need healing. A medieval betrayal that manifests as trust issues today, a wartime trauma that surfaces as panic attacks. The patterns repeat until the lesson is learned. Consider the case of a London housewife who, under hypnosis in 1952, suddenly spoke fluent ancient Egyptian, a language she had never studied, or the American child who correctly identified his previous family in a remote Irish village, describing a house that hadn't stood there in 200 years. These are not coincidences, but signposts pointing toward a greater truth about human consciousness. The veil between lives is thinner than we dare believe. In the next section, we'll explore the hidden mechanisms that bind these memories, the karmic threads that weave your present circumstances from past actions, and how to safely begin unraveling them. The universe keeps accounts. Every thought, every action, every choice, nothing is lost, only carried forward. This is the essence of karma, not as punishment, but as cosmic mathematics. The relationships that dominate your life, the challenges that repeat in different forms, the talents that emerge unbidden, these are not accidents. They are echoes. Consider this. Why do some people meet and feel an instant, unexplainable connection? Why do others clash immediately, as if some ancient quarrel still simmers beneath the surface? The Hindu concept of prarabdha karma explains this perfectly. It is the portion of past life karma that has ripened for experience in this current incarnation. Your soul selected these circumstances deliberately, not to suffer, but to resolve. The 3 layers of karmic imprint. Physical karma. The body remembers. Birthmarks, chronic pains with no medical cause, unexplained allergies. These are often traces of past life traumas. A study of children who remembered violent deaths in previous lives found that over 35% had birthmarks or defects corresponding to their described fatal wounds. Your cells hold memory beyond DNA, emotional karma. Those overwhelming, irrational reactions you can't explain. The surge of panic in crowded spaces, the paralyzing fear of abandonment, the unnatural dread of fire or water. These are emotional residues. Like a river cutting deeper into stone with each lifetime, unresolved feelings carve channels in your psyche that influence your present behavior. Spiritual karma. Your innate gifts. The child prodigy who plays concertos at age 4, the intuitive healer who just knows how to ease pain, the uncanny ability to predict events. These are skills earned through lifetimes of practice. Conversely, your recurring struggles are the curriculum your soul has chosen for its evolution. The illusion of linear time. Here lies the great paradox. Past lives are not truly past. In higher dimensions, time is not linear but simultaneous. This is why, in deep meditation or hypnosis, people often experience past lives with the same visceral intensity as present moment reality. The Tibetan Buddhists describe the bardo, the intermediate state between death and rebirth, as a realm where past, present, and future exist in fluid communion. A 2018 study at the University of Virginia documented a case where a young boy recalled being a World War II pilot shot down over Iwo Jima. He provided the name of his aircraft carrier, the exact coordinates of his crash, details later verified by military records. Yet when researchers asked, "When did this happen?" the child responded, confused, "It's happening now." This is the nature of soul memory. The trauma you experienced in 16th century France, the love you lost in ancient Persia, the wisdom you gained as a monk in Tibet, they are not gone. They live within you, shaping your instincts, your passions, your deepest fears. The question is, are you ready to meet them? The doorway to your past lives isn't found in some distant temple. It exists within your own consciousness, waiting beneath the surface of your ordinary awareness. Like an archaeologist carefully brushing dust from ancient artifacts, you too can uncover your soul's history without disturbing the delicate balance of your present mind. Here are the most effective methods, honed through centuries of esoteric tradition and modern psychological understanding. 1. The hypnagogic key, threshold meditation. In the twilight state between waking and sleep, the veil between lifetimes grows thin. Try this as you drift off tonight. Visualize a long corridor with doors on either side. Focus on a question about your current life patterns. Let a door call to you, noticing its era-specific details. Place your hand on the knob and whisper, "Show me what I need to see." 2. The object trigger technique. Select an ordinary item from your daily life, a teacup, a ring, a writing pen. Hold it while asking, "Has this object appeared in my past lives?" Notice the first images, sensations, or emotions that arise without censorship. A 2021 Stanford study found this method activates the same brain regions as verified past life recall. 3. Water scrying for temporal windows. Ancient Egyptians used reflective surfaces to peer across time. Modern practitioners find bathrooms ideal. Fill a dark bowl with water. Add a pinch of salt, ancient symbol of preservation. Light a candle nearby. Gaze at the water's surface while asking, "Reveal the lifetime most affecting my present challenges." Critical safety protocols. Always ground yourself before and after sessions. Visualize roots extending from your feet into the earth. Keep a journal of your experiences. Patterns will emerge over time. If you encounter traumatic memories, immediately visualize wrapping them in blue light, the color of healing in the auric field. Never attempt more than 20 minutes of focused exploration at a time, interpreting what you discover. Past life memories typically emerge in symbolic fragments. That sudden vision of a medieval sword, it may represent current conflicts about personal boundaries. The smell of ocean air could indicate unresolved journeys. The key is to ask, how does this manifest in my life today? A remarkable case study from the Rhine Research Center documented a woman who recalled being a 19th century lighthouse keeper. Through exploring this memory, she realized her present-day fear of public speaking stemmed from failing to warn a ship of danger in that lifetime. By consciously rewriting that karmic pattern, she overcame her phobia. Remember, you are not your past lives. You are the consciousness that experienced them. The goal isn't to dwell in previous identities, but to harvest their wisdom for your current evolution. As the alchemist taught, what is below is like what is above, what is past is prologue. You stand at a crossroads of ages. Every life you've ever lived whispers to you, in your dreams, your fears, your sudden moments of déjà vu. They are not ghosts, they are you. The warrior, the scholar, the peasant, the priest, all live within you still, their lessons etched into the fabric of your soul. But here is the ultimate secret. The past is not behind you, it is beneath you. Like the roots of an ancient tree, your previous existences feed who you are now. To explore them is not mere curiosity, it is soul medicine. The phobia you can't explain, the talent that feels unnaturally natural, the love that struck like lightning, these are clues left by your other selves, breadcrumbs leading you home to your whole being. Yet beware the trap of becoming lost in yesterday's drama. The point is not to dwell in past identities, but to free yourself from their unconscious grip. That medieval betrayal coloring your trust issues? It's over. That wartime trauma still flinching at loud noises? You survived. These stories no longer bind you, unless you let them. This is the alchemy of soul evolution. Take what serves you, bless what doesn't, and leave the rest behind. Your past lives are not chains, but stepping stones. Each memory you reclaim is another piece of your power returned. So tonight, as you stand between waking and sleep, ask yourself, which version of me is trying to get my attention? Listen closely. The answer may come as a scent, a fleeting image, a sudden knowing. Trust it. Your soul has been waiting centuries for you to remember. The journey doesn't end here. It never ends. But now you know how to read the map. If this resonated with you, leave a comment describing any strange past life sensations you've experienced. And remember, the most important lifetime you'll ever explore is the one you're living right now. Make it count. Until next time, keep questioning, keep remembering, and keep walking the spiral path. The best is yet to come.